So, at Christmas time this year, I got a new Asus ZenPad Z500M, and this is my dedicated tablet rather than the one that my son pinches most of the time. I thought I'd have a look around for some games to put on it, and an icon on the App Store immediately grabbed my attention because it looked identical to the static screens you used to see in UFO Enemy Unknown, also known as XCOM, back in the day. I thought that looks interesting, and purely on that basis I discovered this game, Aliens vs Humans, which is a sort of homage to UFO Enemy Unknown and XCOM. Now, I'm recording this using a built-in app on the Asus ZenPad. It's flaked out on me a couple of times, so I'm going to try and record this in small chunks to make sure that it doesn't do it again. So, I'm going to start off by showing you the basics of the geoscape and the base system, and then I'm going to go back into a game which I was trying to record before it crashed out on me. So go into the Onslaught, which is basically the standard sort of XCOM game that you'll be familiar with if you've seen it before. I'll play a game. Let's go to Noob. Now here you go, this is the geoscape. So this is where you select the location for your first new base. Now I'll go for Africa here for the sake of argument, simply because it gives you a decent landmass coverage just by putting a single base there. So I'll be inventive as always with my first base name. So if, like me, you've played XCOM UFO Enemy Unknown in the past, this is immediately familiar. So you can see a variety of base facilities here, hangar at the top with an aircraft in it, access lift, living quarters, general stores, radar, all of this stuff. Now, unlike in the original XCOM, you don't intercept UFOs in this version. You detect teleport events, and then you use the aircraft to go and investigate that in a ground assault mode, which is exactly the same as the original game. So in the original game, you had to shoot down the UFOs to go and investigate alien activity. Here, you're looking for teleportation activity. So, a base info screen shows you all the personnel that are available on your base, the living quarters for them. As you can see, it's 30 out of 50 at the moment, so I can bring in 20 more people at the moment without running out of living quarters. Stores for everything, laboratories for research, workshops for manufacturing with the engineers, and the hangars for the aircraft. Short range detection, I've got one unit of short range detection at the moment. I can't build long range detection yet, but that comes with the research. You've got various breakdowns there of how much everything is going to cost you to keep running month to month. So I'm going to build some more facilities just quickly. So that's more living quarters there. General stores I'll leave for now. Don't need any more hangars. I'm going to put another small detector in so I have a better chance of detecting teleportation activity. And I'll put another laboratory in as well. And workshop I'm not going to worry about too much at the moment, because as you'll see, I've got nothing to manufacture. If I go into research, new project, there aren't any. If I go into manufacture, new production, there's nothing to produce. So there you go. So we'll come back to that hopefully later. I am going to purchase some more personnel. So we'll get another 5 engineers ready. I'm going to get 10 more scientists and 5 more soldiers just to... You'll see now that there's not enough living quarters there, so that's as much as I can have. I'll get a few more rifles, a shed load more grenades, a few more flares, and some night vision goggles for the lucky few who get to get them. And that's all I can actually buy at the moment. That list will grow as I get further into the game. I'm going to go back to the geoscape now and fast forward time. So use the icons at the bottom right to fast forward time. Take it up to a day. Things that I've bought have arrived there. Fast forward again. Now got new personnel. Now I've detected alien activity. So that's a quick run through of the various options here. So you'll now see that there's this red cross on the screen which denotes where the alien activity has been detected. Now, I'm going to go back to the previous combat game I was running when the recording function just crashed out on me because I was already in there, and I'll just walk you through what I've done in that particular mission so far. Other options here. I'll go into the bases of the soldiers. I would, if I were going to use them for combat now, you'll see that I have the option to give them more grenades, give them night goggles now that I've brought some in, and so on. And they've got various stats which can improve over time with experience points, as you would in most modern day games, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out to this particular video now, and I'm going to restart the previous combat mission and just use that as a jumping off point for showing you a little bit about the actual combat missions that you get to. You'll see when we come back to the geoscape from that game, it's more or less the same sort of setup as I've got here, and I'll gradually build up in the time that I've got the base facilities, and we'll take it from there. So I'm just going to do a bit of a jump cut if I have enough time, and then I'll come back and stitch these things together later. Okay, I'm having to try this again because the video didn't take again. So this is a standard combat mission. You can see the combat craft that I've arrived on sat there, and because I'm starting from a point a couple of turns into this particular game, some of my guys are already out of the transport. I'm going to get the rest out now, and my aim here is to give myself a sort of reasonable field of fire without having all my guys be prone to a grenade being thrown into their midst. Unlikely to happen at this stage of the game, but you never know. Now, I've already played through this once when the recording failed, so I know roughly where the bad guys are. There aren't that many of them. The map's not huge. In the original game, you'd be able to tell roughly from the size of the UFO that you downed how many you might be expecting. And there also used to be these things called terror missions where the aliens actually invaded a city without a UFO being present, so there were a lot in that sort of scenario. Here it's not so bad. And what I haven't done here, this is a case in point, I should have reserved some time units, which they use, you can see in the top right here, they've nearly run out now, to try and deal with hostiles. So there's a mechanical guy down here, some sort of cyborg. I'm going to try and give him another hit because he will take a pot shot at me if I can't take him down. Now he returned fire there, as you probably saw, and hit this guy in the back, so you can see he's lost a chunk of his health. Actually surprised he survived that, if I'm honest. So I'm going to see if he's got a line of sight on this guy, so he might be able to take some revenge for the damage that's just been done to him. So I've got him locked on there. Have to take a snapshot because I haven't got enough room for an auto, and that's it. He's down, so that's a good bit of progress. So I'm going to end the turn now. I really hope this video takes this time. So there's another guy moving down the bottom of the screen there. Hidden movement used to take forever on the Amiga version, I remember, and then I got a floating point unit card and extra memory and went so much faster. I also got an A1200, which also helped over the A500 obviously, back in the day. That ages me somewhat, I know, but it has been about 20 years since I played XCOM UFO and the Unknown in its original incarnation, so you have to bear with me if I'm a little bit slower than you young people. So I've seen him now, I should have a good line of fire on him. If I can get, yeah, okay, there we go. I'm going to take an auto fire shot because I've got just enough time units and hope that I can... Excellent. That's nice and efficient, that's what we like. So I'm going to move the other guys out now. Try and spread them out. I think there's another alien down here, yeah, so I've spotted him now. Now I've got a lot of time units left here. I'll just see if I can get yeah, I've got enough time units for an aim shot, which is very accurate. So you can see 65% accuracy. So I'm going to go for that. Okay, interesting. So I've hit him, but I haven't brought him down. So I'm going to have to try and move somebody else in to see if they can give me some assistance here. Fortunately, he's used up too many time units moving to have an auto fire option available. So I'm going to snapshot him. Once I've taken the reserve time units off, No, that obviously either missed him or wasn't sufficiently hardcore. I'm going to move him up. Hopefully he's got a line of sight on him and take an enemy shot from there, and that's got him. Okay, that's cool. I'm just going to pause here to try and make sure that this video gets saved, and I'm going to carry on. Okay, so that was successfully saved, and I'm carrying on. So, doing pretty well. I don't think there are actually that many more hostiles around. Famous last words. Alien spotted. Sounds like the game music's gone, but we'll live with that. I seriously doubt this is going to work. Yeah. That was far too long range. That was a rather optimistic shot on my part, but we'll carry on. So one of the differences, as I may have mentioned, is that there aren't any ammunition units in this particular version of the game, so you can pretty much just get on with it and not worry about how much ammunition you're chewing up, which is useful because it makes it a bit more fast moving, which is probably what people are after these days. And it makes perfect sense on the tablet version to make it a bit more accessible. You don't have a right mouse button here to click, for example, so things that worked in the computer version just aren't going to work in this particular style of play. So I have absolutely zero problem with them modifying it in that way, and as I say, I'm very impressed with them not simply trying to copy the original version, but actually trying to make this their own. So you'll see I still don't have line of fire to that one, which is very irritating because it means I'm going to have to move as many people as I feasibly can up to try and get a line of sight on him. He can't see him either. This is one of the irritations of the XCOM genre with this lack of free movement. In XCOM Apocalypse, which is about the third or so game in the series, you could actually play these sorts of missions in real time. It wasn't necessarily the best way to do it until later in the game, but it did mean you could just send your troops moving around, the aliens would probably come and find you, and so it just speed the whole process up. Now that guy I haven't seen before, so I'll take some pot shots at him on the off chance. This is why you can never really assume that you're actually alone, because there can be quite a few units on any given mission, and they can hide fairly effectively at times as well, so you just have to be a little bit cautious. So I've just spotted that guy again, and I might be looking to get a snapshot in, but I haven't got a lot of time units left. No line of fire, so that's rained on my parade there. Okay, so he's reserving time units, which is the useful thing with reserving time units, because it means before he chews up all his units in moving, he'll stop. Excellent snapshot. Okay, great. So that's him down. I'm going to move him over here where I can get a clear shot. Lock on target. Still can't see him. Okay, he must be within range now, surely to God. Well, snapshot didn't take him down. So he's still annoying me. So he tried to shoot me back there. So I've done a lot of damage to the landscape, not so much damage to him. He's dropped back at me. He's missed me completely, which is nice. I'll try and get him up alongside. Okay, let's see if we can get him up on a level, because then he'll be able to cover him down. Oh, hello. Now, see, this is what I mean, you see. There's somebody there who I clearly haven't seen. Or, it might just mean that the spitter spat at me from a distance. I'm going to go for an auto fire shot just because of trying to speed things up a bit. See, this is one of these frustrating things. You've got to have a decent line of sight, and you can't assume that using an auto fire shot is going to have the desired effect, unfortunately. And this little guy is now going to have a clear shot at several of my troops because I haven't managed to take him down in my turn. I haven't seen any suggestion that the alien units panic like they used to in the old game. In the old game, they had a sort of I don't know what you'd call it, a sort of a mental stamina, I suppose. And if that ran out, then they could panic, which means they could run around, they could fire wildly. That was a complete fluke. I was aiming at the cactus, not him. Now, hopefully, that's the end of the mission. Yeah, a little Twitter message there for someone you can follow. Various things picked up: alien compound, Zurium, alien tools, alien teleporter, make him handy later, rifles, corpses, and then there's a breakdown of how your troops have improved, who's been wounded, and so on. I'm going to go back to the geoscape. Craft is on the way back, and I'm just going to take it into the base and stop the video and save it, hopefully, and then we'll carry on from there next time. Thanks for watching. So I've now returned to base, and I should have some alien items in my inventory now. So I'm going to go into bases, base info, look in stores. Yeah, so you can see here I've got alien compound, Azurium, alien tools, teleporter, corpses, various. Okay, there. So we go into research now. What we should find is that you have various new research projects available. So I'll start lethality. Lovely. Give myself some scientists assigned to that. And I will also do armour. I do find that the soldiers die pretty easily on this version of the game, so the sooner you get a bit more armour on them, the better. So that'll now research over time. Going to manufacture, still nothing there, but we'll see that will change reasonably shortly. I'm going to go back to the geoscape, advance time for a while, until that research completes. Okay, so now you can see that's completed. Now I've got the S2 rifle, which is an improvement over the basic model that the crew were equipped with before. We can manufacture this now. So I click on OK, OK again. Back into bases, manufacture, new production. Now you can see we can produce the S2 rifle. So each unit of it will cost me money to produce, which is fair enough. But when I sell them, I'll probably be able to sell them for more than it cost me to produce them. So this is one way to supplement the funding you get from nation states on Earth. You can sell alien captured goods as well, of course, but this does give you a direct income stream. And if my experience in my other game that I've been playing is anything to go by, you're very well advised to start expanding the number of bases that you have as quickly as you can, because if you don't, then you're not going to detect enough activity and the game is going to terminate on you because you haven't detected enough alien activity. So there you go, so cost per unit is $2,000 there. Okay, now I have to say, at this point I haven't completed the game. I'm not quite sure what the end game is. Obviously I'm finding new weapons. My crew are getting more experience. I'll show you here that this is the soldier list here. You can see that wounded units who aren't completely killed will recover over time, but it may take them a fair amount of time to recover. I haven't seen any medikits on this version of the game, so I don't know if you can actually heal troopers in-game at any point whilst they're actually on the battlescape, but I'll see how that goes. So that's that done. Now so that's already completed, so the manufacturing of the improved rifle is completed, so you could go back in, select a soldier, and now you see you've got the option to give them a more powerful main weapon there. So I should also be reassigning scientists. So this is a better grenade, and you should always keep these guys ticking over. Obviously the more scientists you have, the faster you can produce things, but my mistake when I first started playing through this version was to make the main base too big too fast, because that meant that all my funds were going to the main base, and as you can see you've got 7 other slots for bases here, you need to be thinking about them, putting detection in, and so on. Very easy to do. You just need an access lift and then some sort of detection in, and they'll start detecting. And if you use the craft called the Sky Raptor rather than the Sky Hopper that I've got here in the top of the screen, that can do quite long range missions. So you'll be able to send guys out pretty much anywhere in order to do missions that are further out to improve your ranking. In terms of selling stuff, then you see these are my soldiers and other engineers and so on here. Here you can see that I've got the alien items at the bottom. So an alien teleporter will net you 125k. I can get rid of a couple of corpses as well. Corpses don't get you a great deal. Zero I'd like to hang on to. Now the alien materials are very useful because you can create alien technology out of those materials that you have available to you. So it's well worth completing the mission just to get those, because otherwise you find things like armor are very difficult to manufacture if you don't have sufficient information. So sufficient inventory. So I'm going to leave it there. This is actually the first gameplay video I've ever put on YouTube, so I apologise for the jump cuts and the random stitching together, but that's largely due to the fact that I'm still getting to grips with this app for screen capture. If you've got any recommendations for a better screen capture app to work on an Android tablet, I'm very open to suggestions at this point. Other than that, I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm just giving you an idea how to play it if you haven't played the original XCOM before. If you have played the original XCOM before, I'd give this game a crack. It's only a couple of pounds. See what you think. I think it'll bring back quite a few happy memories, even if it isn't full of floaters and sectoids and all the usual suspects. So, thank you for listening, and I shall sign off. And I may well at some point try and do a few other videos when I've got a bit more experience of this sort of thing, probably aimed at some older games that have been ported onto Android in some way, shape or form. So thanks for listening, and goodbye.